talk to him. We couldn't ask him real good questions on the air and stuff.
Nobody could really talk to him?
No, I mean, he just wanted to talk about that device.
Here's a guy that's been dying for a little exposure for years. You offer it to him, and he turns up his nose at it?
Prepared questions only.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Jerks.
I mean, wow. That's pretty stupid. I mean, I guess.
Well, Screech has done a lot of stuff in his life. You know, he's, quote, badass, right?
Well, I mean, if Screech has done a lot of stuff, I think he's a really bad stand-up comic now. I think that's what he does. He does, stand-up comedy. And, makes sex tapes and tries to sell plaster molds of his most intimate of equipment. But I think that, I don't know, I would have thought that him being willing to spill the beans about who was high and porking who on the set of Saved by the Bell, is it? That's the name of the show, right?
Yep.
I would have thought him being willing to spill any beans on that would have, definitely helped the sale of his love toy. You know?
You would think, but no.
I guess maybe he was worried about being sued or something. I mean, if you go on the air and say, Zach Morris was porking whoever the hell it was, then, the guy that plays Zach Morris might be like, dude, now I have to sue you. So I could understand why maybe it was prepared questions only, but I don't know. There's probably a better way to have done that. Anyways, go on. What else is going on in the world?
Well, movie attendance hit a 19-year low last year.
Mm-hmm. Said it over and over again. Hollywood has 100% run out of ideas. I mean, look, obviously everybody watches movies at home streaming. It's just it's expensive. It's it's $40 for two people, $50 for two people to go to a movie, right? You got your $10 to $12 ticket. You each have, $10 in snacks and a $5 drink, and that's $50. Versus popping some Jiffy Pop at home and watching it on your humongous screen TV in your underwear. So I can kind of see it, but I think it's because they're absolutely running out of ideas. There's so many crappy sequels in the works. It's just... And you know what it is? It's people not being willing to step out on a limb. This made us money in the past. Let's do that again. Let's crank out another sequel. We have a brand. We have something, a property that exists. Let's just keep rebooting it and rebooting it and rebooting it. And people are like, I've seen this movie before. And so there are movie-making successes, but the returns are ever diminishing. And the movie business is getting itself into a deeper and deeper hole. It's getting bad. Yesterday, I saw a Sony executive holding a sign that said, "We'll capitulate to terrorists for food." Yeah, see what I did there? Fortunately, a movie starring Johnny Depp as an oddball opens soon, so that should fix things.
Hey, you can read that over and over again, probably every 3 months. According to the National Enquirer, Steve Croft of 60 Minutes texted sexually suggestive messages to his mistress during a 3-year affair. Steve Croft. The news shocked 60 Minutes viewers who had no idea you could use your telephone to type people. It's funny because people that watch 60 Minutes are old, terribly, terribly old. Go on. Activists will launch copies of The Interview into North Korea on balloons.
Yeah. Where they will hopefully land in the yard of the one person in the entire country who owns a DVD player. Lots of luck with that.
Yeah, they're all on Blu-ray.
Yeah, they're streaming.
The oldest of those considered Generation X are going to turn 50 this year.
So, don't be surprised when you pass one of those casino buses full of seniors and it's blasting Smells Like Teen Spirit. One more.
A Florida Kmart shopper was wearing a T-shirt reading "I have drugs" and was arrested when cops found him holding a bag of meth.
Oh, so stupid. Though in his defense, you try surviving a trip to a Florida Kmart without a little meth.
And now, a look back at this week in history.
1967, the first African-American senator elected by popular vote, Edward Brooke of Massachusetts, took his seat. The Harlem Globetrotters lost to the New Jersey Reds January 5th, 1971, snapping a 2,495-game winning streak. So were we supposed to go home happy after that? In 1972, the longest winning streak in NBA history ended at 33 games when the Milwaukee Bucks beat the LA Lakers. Apparently the Lakers were just not as good as the Globetrotters. 1990, Italy's famous Leaning Tower of Pisa was closed for renovations after it was deemed unsafe. Looks fine to me. This week in 1992, President George H.W. Bush collapsed during a state dinner in Tokyo and threw up on the Japanese Prime Minister's lap. In 1995, cosmonaut Valery Polyakov completed his 366th day in space aboard the Mir space station, breaking the record for the longest time in space. I hope he packed enough deodorant. I'm Chris, and that's This Week in History.
If your walls could talk, what would they say?
I have held the same mirror for 13 years.
I have been decorated with purple dinosaurs, baseball teams, and football helmets.
I have witnessed 33 Thanksgiving dinners and 1 wedding proposal.
I have tiny notches marking the growth of 3 children.
I have caused a learning disability.
I am the reason that a 5th grader simply can't sit still.
I am responsible for a 5-year-old's rage.
Just because you can't see lead paint doesn't mean it's not on walls, doors, windows, and sills. Today, lead paint poisoning affects over 1 million children. If your home was built before 1978, your family could be at risk. Let's make all kids lead-free kids. Log on to leadfreekids.org or call 800-424-LEAD.
I am the reason a child has trouble hearing.
If your walls could talk, what would they say?
Brought to you by the Coalition to End Childhood Lead Poisoning, EPA, HUD, and the Ad Council.
Delivering fascinating subjects, interesting talk, and boobs and fart jokes. AD on iHeartRadio.
Yeah, oh, let's go. Talking that mess, better act like you know. Oh, let's go tonight. Walk away, punk, yeah, bitch. That's right, I know this. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. So walk away, yeah, yeah.
So, Funkhauser, off the air just now, you were telling me what you have to do after you finish up here. You got to go to your other job and do what now?
Well, I mean, those of you that listen know I'm a tech producer for other things, and one of them being an adult company. And they're going to do an interview with that guy we talked about a couple days ago that has two friends in his nether regions, you know?
He has 2 penises, and he wrote a book.
Yeah,
he said it wasn't hard, but the other one was. That was that was the extent to which we talked about it the other day on the show. But explain what your technical duties are in this particular situation. You have to set up.
Well, they're going to do
right?
they're going to do an interview, and I have to set up Skype because they don't have it set up. And the guy won't do an interview. They won't let the interview happen without Skype because they need the ability to visualize certain things that they talk about, I guess.
So they're basically asking for proof. They got to see it.
Yeah. Maybe some acrobatics.
You got to feel like it's not a prosthetic.
Yeah. It's got to be.
And I mean, I'm guessing has he had physical partners that can corroborate his stories?
Well, I don't know.
The doctor's note or something.
I can ask him later, or maybe I can get him on our show here.
Oh, that would be
I mean, no Skype, but I'm sure you don't want to. Yeah, you don't really need that.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll let your eyes do the seeing of things that can't be unseen, and then you can corroborate his story for me.
I'm just going to cross my eyes and just pretend that it.
So wait, you know the story behind it? The guy's got 2 junks, but like he's got 2 junks, just 1 set of manberries, though, right?
I don't know the details. I didn't really investigate the story. All I know
is it when you have a third nipple? The third nipple is kind of inconsequential, smaller and less defined than the usual nipples, or is it what?
I mean, that was my first thought was: are these guys, like mirror images of one another, or is one like, oops, that shouldn't have been there? And I hear that they're mirror images of one another, and they're supposed to perform equally and efficiently, and clinical trials are yet to have been taken, but we're going to find out.
Are they stacked on top of each other or side by side?
From what I understand, they're side by side. I mean, one on top of each other. I think I don't know.
Urinating's got to be a bit of a chore.
Well, what do you do?
Like,
Flip a coin? Do you pick a side?
I wonder. Or I wonder if it comes out of both. Like, I don't. Okay, here's one thing I've never done, never will do. Don't understand how guys do this. But have you ever been at the urinal and you see those dudes that just like look, ma, no hands. Like they're stretching, they're putting their hands behind their back, and they're just like I gotta hold on to stuff and aim things where things should go. Like I don't have that. Yeah, have you ever?
I could be that guy here and there to go
really?
hands free. Yeah.
Hands free.
Yeah, every once in a while. Sure.
I don't know. I've never attempted to go hands-free, but I would assume that the end results would be messy and unpleasant for me and later other people.
It is quite dangerous when you decide to go hands-free. But if you have two of them, I don't know. I think you have an excuse, right?
And here's the thing. You got to go hands-free in public because at home you have the standard toilet, where you're not aiming for the back of the wall and letting it trickle down as you do in public. Like you got to aim at home. But in public, you don't have to do that. Like you could just, like I said, hit the back of the wall and let gravity do the rest of the work and then go hands-free. But I think it's daunting, and I've never tried the hands-free thing because your only option for going hands-free is when you're using a public lavatory. And in that particular case, when you're in public, you don't want to suffer the indignity of missing and maybe getting a little on you.
Yeah, splashback and whatnot.
Yeah, no good.
Danger.
I think I will forever be an aimer. And you know what? As the years fall away, I think I'll continue to be okay with that.
Do you want me to ask him this question?
Yes, I think that's an interesting question. Okay. America wants to know. That's the sort of question that the American media can handle at the moment. That's the that is the
depth
line they're willing to get to. Yeah, well, I don't know if you caught it or not. American media, CNN, NBC, the alternative press, even Fox have gone on the record saying they won't be showing the Charlie Hebdo cartoon of the Prophet. The act of terror by those French Muslims, it's worked. American media now self-censoring. CNN sent a memo to staff ordering them not to show the Charlie Hebdo cartoons of the Prophet. The memo reads, although we are not at this time showing the Charlie Hebdo cartoons of the Prophet considered offensive by many Muslims, platforms are encouraged to verbally describe the cartoon in detail. This is key to understanding the nature of the attack on the magazine and the tension between free expression and respect for religion. Video or stills of the protests where there's Parisians holding up copies of the cartoons, if they're shot wide enough, those are apparently okay. But they have to avoid close-ups of the cartoons that make them clearly visible to the eye. It's also okay to show most of the protest cartoons making the rounds online, though they're saying people should take care to avoid examples that include within them detailed depictions of the Charlie Hebdo cartoons. Basically saying, we don't want to get shot up, so let's avoid this. NBC has taken the same stance, saying they're not going to be showing the cartoons that could be viewed as insensitive. Okay, call a spade. Viewed as insensitive? Eat me, you cowardly pricks. You're not worried about being insensitive. You're worried about getting shot. You're worried about a death toll of 12. Call it what it is, viewed as insensitive. Effing BS, man. It really is. After airing the cartoon on Fox and Friends yesterday morning, a Fox News spokesman said the network has no plans to air them again. The alternative press is blurring or cropping the photos depicting the Islamic prophet Muhammad. The alternative press said they have a long-standing policy as to its reason for not showing the cartoons. You know what's interesting? The backtracking involved. Just say we're afraid of getting shot by wackadoos. These people are killing because of a cartoon because they can't take a freaking joke because they don't understand the concept of satire, so they're killing people. The death toll is at 12. It's dangerous to do this stuff. We're not showing it because we don't want to get shot at, because these ridiculous extremists are willing to kill people over a cartoon. Let's not treat this with kid gloves. Let's not talk about being insensitive. Let's not indulge in foolish, shameful backpedaling like this. No, we're not showing cartoons because these people are out of their freaking minds and they're willing to kill over it. And we don't want to get shot over a cartoon. So much more honor in calling a spade a freaking spade in this particular respect. So dangerous not speaking the truth, being like, well,